what you did, but something. Yeah. All right, Shalom. We the Brothers of Great Millstone, church in Birmingham, Alabama, and as always, want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakafadash.
Yeah, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, those would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also, let us give double honors to our teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and brothers out there laboring in this work. And as always, you believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, those of you who subscribe to these teachings as well. So, welcome to another installment of As Foretold in the Scriptures, which is an ongoing series dedicated to Bible prophecy as it relates to the rise and fall of kingdoms, the change of seasons, the transition of power. And that thought in itself pretty much transcends the thoughts of you mere mortals. Okay, unless the spirit and power of Yahweh is rested upon you, you will not be able to entertain this form of teaching. Because the average person, they're goyim. They're nothing more than sheep led to be slaughtered, cattle, man. Right? There's levels to, dominion. You have those who are in heavenly places, those who in the realm of rulership. Then you have those who are in subjection to that power. All right? So for those of you who have been introduced to this form of teaching, you are now being elevated, in mind. Okay? Hey, that's why the scriptures say our conversation is in the heaven, right? So we're being elevated mentally. And it's all driven by the prophecies, man. Why? Because the prophecies build up to the fall of this kingdom. Again, everything centers around the transition of power. Matter of fact, let's start off real quick in Ecclesiasticus, the 10th chapter. If anybody got some, that was your ad?
That's what I had.
Yeah, that's spirit. Matter of fact, we're going to start at the top. You had something?
Yeah, you were speaking about we've been elevated mentally.
Yeah, come on.
Ephesians 2:6, and have raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places.
That's it. All right, the Lord, you have been positioned to win. Okay, read that again.
Ephesians 2:6, and have raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right, yeah, in this body. All right, in the council. Okay, the courts of Yahweh, which is to be in Yahweh, which plays out in the form of the scriptures. Okay, you can't just say, I'm in the spirit, You can't conjure up the presence of Yahweh. It's really a step-by-step process. You have to be schooled, you have to be groomed, sat down, and taught. Okay? So that's what it means to be in Yahweh. Remember when you read Wisdom of Solomon in the 7th chapter, in the 28th verse, scripture tell you how the Lord loveth none, but he that dwelleth with wisdom.
Got one more.
Now, come on.
One more pertaining to that. 1 Corinthians 2:15, but he that is spiritual judge of all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. Verse 16, for who have known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him, but we have the mind of a Mashiach.
Yep. So the Lord has shared his thoughts with us so you can understand. And again, this plays out throughout the scriptures. Now, with that said, wisdom, understanding, it falls under the banner of prophecy. There's no way you can leave out prophecy. Because you know why? Somebody's going to ask a question. I know we are. What you feel about the MOTB? That have to be answered. See that? That's why we know everything is a build up to prophecy, man. Matter of fact, give me Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter real quick. Hey, and this is going down out here on the planet Earth. And you got to pray that you don't fall asleep. Remember, with Yahushua and the Peter, that dynamic with the disciples, they fell asleep. I believe Yahushua said, go ahead. He said, you can stay with me 1 hour. That you got to pray against that. Because you and the bullets flying. You can fall asleep. Now you got the joystick, Yeah, go ahead. Huh? But really though, you don't see what's going on out on the planet Earth. That means your eyes are now open. But again, and I'm pretty sure everybody can attest to this, it can look like it's not happening. It can be going so fast. It just seems like everything is normal. You'll somewhat become desensitized to the information. The information coming out so quick, you just looking at the norm. But you got to remember, it's about to go down, man. Go ahead, up.
Wisdom of Solomon 8, verse 8. If a man desire much experience, she know of things of old.
And obviously that she is dealing with wisdom for those of you who have eyes to see. Go ahead.
And conjecture of aright what is to come.
See, and not only does wisdom have a fear for things of old, which is going into the history, but it conjectures aright what is to come, which pretty much goes hand in hand. That's why the apostles always make the statement, you can't know the mysteries without knowing the history. So that's why the scriptures even displayed like that. All right, she know of things of old and conjecture of aright what is to come. Now you go to look up that word conjecture real quick. If anybody got something, you can bring it up. Come on.
It's Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. Mm-hmm. For the vision is yet for an appointed time.
Yep. And that vision is going to the prophecy, man. And how do we know it's going to prophecy? It's simple. It tells you how it's for an appointed time, which, by the way, time and prophecy goes hand in hand. Matter of fact, let's prove that. Go to Revelation real quick, the first chapter and the third verse. That's why when you read 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, it talks about how you see the signs pass. Then in that event, you should know, pretty much what time you're in. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead. Whoever got that?
This is the book of Revelations 1 and verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy.
See, of this prophecy, go ahead.
And keep those things which are written therein, for the time.
See, for the time. So why the word time and prophecy is in the same breath? Because they go hand in hand. See, read that part again.
It says, and keep with those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
See that? So you can't really mention prophecy without time, because prophecy falls within a certain lot in time. That's why the scriptures often, when concerning prophecy, is headed by saying, and at that time, all right, or in those days. See, prophecy centers around time, seasons. All right, so come on. It's like you have to go back.
It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time,
mm-hmm.
but at the end it shall.
And now the scripture is giving you when that time will be. The visions being the prophecies is for an appointed time, which it went on to say is at the end. And it makes all the sense. And it only makes sense to those of you who are spiritually invested in this. See, this is not, and that's going to eventually be found out. The casual Israelites are not going to be able to stand in that day, because your works is going to manifest it, man. See, if you've been groomed to believe that being an Israelite in America is acceptable, but that's not, no, what's required of you is to come out of this place and to come into the spirit realm, which is the scriptures, man. See? Read that part one more time.
It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time,
mm-hmm.
but at the end it shall speak.
You shall know that the end is synonymous with Esau. And that's 2nd Ezra's the 6th chapter, where Esau is the end of the world. So in knowing that and having those dots, if you will, to connect, having those puzzle pieces, so to speak, to put together, then you'll say, well, hold up, this the time. This the time where the visions will speak. And not to mention, once you see it, now you see Esau pushing forth legislations. Now you see Esau drawing that line in the sand. Like we always touch on. You tell the motherfucker, when the fight finna jump off, motherfuckers start giving out demands. You better not step one step closer. You better not step up, say that shit again. Say my mama again, Well, that's what Esau's doing. That word mandate being thrown out now. Why? Because the stage is being set for Esau, the so-called white man, to rise up against his brother Jacob. And that's biblical prophecy right there. All right, so come on.
And not lie.
And it's not lying. See, the black conscious community, Christianity, whatever sect out there that's in opposition to the teachings of Yahushua is going to be found to be a lie. It's not going to hold up in the court of law, in the grand scheme of things, which is reality. See, when you go back to the time of Noah, it was motherfuckers who was rebuttaling Noah. See, when you read that story, you think they was just making fun of Noah, like, no. It was motherfuckers that was trying to rebut and question that theory. What do you mean, Noah? It's gonna rain. No, there's no such thing, Hey, but they was found to be liars, man. Hey, because the scriptures tell you, let every man be a liar. Matter of fact, give me that real quick, Romans the 3rd chapter. See, you better get used to prophecy. That's the trending topic, baby. Prophecy, man. And it's like a stone, it'll wear on you at a certain point. You keep hearing it. Did not they have with Noah? And the scriptures emphasize it. For 120 years, Noah constantly told him it was going to rain. And we here to tell you the same things about the rain, all type of turmoil, calamities, misfortunes. Imagine you look on these motherfuckers' face when you look at your bank app when all hell started to unfold, man. Yeah, go ahead,
This is the book of Romans.
and we're going to be laughing. The scriptures tell you that. Probably the 1st chapter. Well, setting up, you right there by the nigga. You looking at it out.
Romans 3, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For what a song did not believe.
See, for what a song did not believe. Oh, we were touching on that briefly. Now we about to shift into the time of miracles. See, this not, hey man, you think this is just a game that we just here to entertain, and even certain, it might be motherfuckers who are teaching. They don't know what the severity of this is about. We about to shift into a heavy time, man, where the Lord is going to make certain things happen. And if you're not in the right spirit, you're going to be taken by it. It's either going to be there for support or to destroy you, to condemn you or to comfort you. But it starts with the report. Yahushua, he set it up beautifully. When you can only read about his works, his miracles within the scriptures. But it's a point where they're going to actually play out. This the one story. This is not just a campfire. This is no campfire story, man. This is the one story that's going to actually unfold. So once the miracles start to happen, then who's going to get the glory? It's going to go back to Yahushua. Because nobody else presented that form of teaching. But it starts with a way out, a strange. Matter of fact, give me that real quick in Acts the 17th chapter. I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Get that. Everybody got a precept. Y'all go ahead. Come on.
Yeah, Acts 13:41 says, "Behold, ye despisers, and wonder and perish, for I work in your days, a work which ye shall not know, so like a work which ye shall not in no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you."
Yeah, though a man declare it unto you, man. And that's always been the works of the Lord. All right? Even though he's emphasizing this day to come, but when you go back even in time of Noah, see, the works of the Lord is not of this realm. That's why Yahushua even said that I'm from above, you're from beneath. So it requires a form of faith. See, it requires a form of faith. Like the little guy came up to the camp. Just the guy with, and one thing that jumped out about that guy, that he kind of got me roused up a little in the spirit, was that his countenance, just that carefree countenance on his nigga face. You could tell he ain't caught no hair. Like it was a joystick on Paul somewhere, man. But he don't really understand, the magnitude of the moment. Read that.
Read again. Come on. Acts 13:41. It says, "Behold, ye despisers, and wonder and perish.
Go ahead.
For I work in your days, a work which ye shall not in no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you."
See, so even though you could be breaking it down to somebody, they could just go through them. Why? Because they really don't believe. See that? But see how the stage is being set. If you don't believe, then you're going to be taken by these events, if you will. All right, so come on, let's go around.
Oh, the spirit pass.
All right. Let's go back.
This is the book of Acts 17. I started verse 17. "Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said,
Yeah, that proved that this is how the ministry would go forth. It would be centered around dispute. When you go into the book of Hebrews, the 12th chapter, I believe it's Romans, the 12th chapter, where it said he despised the shame and the contradiction. Consider him who endured the contradiction of such sinners. When you go into that word contradiction, it goes into resistance, strife. See? That's why you had the Apostle Paul right here. And the first word came out as the story is being told is dispute. That's why that happened at camp yesterday. Because the ministry is so overwhelming to where either you're going to believe it or not. Go ahead.
And some said, what would this Bible say?
See?
Others, some, he seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushua and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is?
Yeah, and that applies to even to this very day. This is a new song which only those who are wired a certain way would dance to. In fact, it's like a foreign song. The song really don't make sense to you. You know, like, what is that? So, you know, you really marvel when other people can come into it, because it's a song that only a certain people are going to dance to. Go ahead.
It says,
see, we're not on the tip of, we surprised when people don't come in. You're more surprised when people get it. Because it's just that precious, man. Go ahead.
for thou bringest certain strange things to our ears.
See, thou bringest certain strange things to mine ears, man. See that?
We would know, therefore, what these things mean.
Right, so that's the overtone of the message. It's strange to those who don't have understanding. Or what's that, Titus, the first chapter? Until the pure, all things are pure. Okay. Also, Proverbs, the 8th chapter, they're plain to those who have understanding. So the report that's being presented to you, it's a foreshadowing. That's why at that point, it's kind of up for air. You know, it requires you to believe it or not. Just like a meteorite, mother tell you, look, it's going to rain tomorrow. That's something that's dark, is in the future. Can't nobody, I can't say I went to the future and saw it. Right? So that's pretty much how this message is pushed forth. Remember, Matthew the 10th chapter, where the Lord sent forth his disciples to preach the kingdom. The kingdom itself represents the world to come. So everything is a build-up to reality. That's how it's played out. Famine is a reality that's not here as of yet. That's why you have access to food. And so you got to believe, you got to say, okay, I can see that or not. All right, all hell breaking loose is a reality that's prepared for the days to come. That's Ezekiel the 7th chapter, the end, watch it for thee. See that? All right, so come on. Anybody got something before we get back over there? I still gonna put them something again.
Come on. All right, this is the book of Wisdom, Solomon 8, verse 8. If a man desire much experience, she know of things of old, and conjecture aright what is to come.
And conjecture aright what is to come. Now let's get that word conjecture.
It's the word conjecture. It says an opinion or conclusion formed on the basis.
Now hold up. It said she conjecture aright what is to come. So this is an opinion or what?
Conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information.
Go ahead. Let's go some of these similar words.
It says belief, presumption.
Yeah, what we're presuming in your eyes is actually all right. That's why the scripture says she conjectured all right. So you can say, man, you just presuming, or you assuming that that's going to happen. But the scripture said we are assuming all right. Go ahead.
It says projection.
Yeah, projection. What we're projecting is right. See that? Matter of fact, look at that word projection. Come on.
Ezekiel 12:25, it says, for I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It says, it shall no more be prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and I will perform it, saith the Lord power. So the words that we speaking with are Isaiah 55 and 11. All right. Isaiah 55 and 11 speaks about the words that the Most High have spoken shall come to pass. It was one word.
Should not return void.
Right.
Oh, you talking about
in that definition. But like you said, it shall not return void. That's Isaiah 55 and 11, meaning it shall not return empty. But Israel said this is a word that's afar off, because the Most High is long suffering. But it was one definition in there.
with belief.
Read it again.
Projection, presumption, assumption.
Or maybe is you talking about the whole definition or similar word?
Right. You know, similar words.
Oh, okay, kind of.
For just meaning like the things that we say are really, really short. Because it ain't our words at the end of the day. It's the words that the Most High put in our mouth to speak. But the Most High, people think it's not going to happen. Remember the guy came up to the camp, the words that y'all speak, I heard this 30 years ago. No, that's really Israel saying that the words that you're speaking unto us are far off. You know?
Because they have to see something tangible.
Mm-hmm.
That's why scripture, matter of fact, you go ahead up.
So I got a real quick precept to bag you up. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy.
Yeah, so we got a sure word of prophecy. This word is perfected. It's complete. Meaning what? It's gonna happen, man. It's no what the scripture speaks that we have a sound doctrine. All right, sound meaning complete doctrine, man. All right, the completion is that it's not going to return to the Most High void, man. It's where it's gonna happen. All right, go read it again.
It says we have also a more sure word of prophecy.
Mm-hmm. And can I say the word sure, when you look it up, it leads you to the word confident, which the word confident goes to with faith. When you break it down, con meaning with, and fidence going back to fidelity, which translates to faith. When you're sure about something, that means you believe, you know? And it's surely going to come to pass. When you express something that you know is going to be with a certain level of intensity. That's why I said we have the more sure word of prophecy. That's why you see that the sureness of the testimony of Yahweh, this ministry, which is on display man here at Great Millstone, is a very diligent type of spirit. That lets you know it's sure. That goes back to Noah.
Yep.
Noah had to be sure if he was out there building, and man, he had to go get certain wood. He didn't just push it. That was a methodical approach, man. Why? Because he was sure about something. He was sure about it. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, whereunto ye do well to take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
Right. So you do well to take heed of this warning, man. Just like Noah was sure, just like we being consistent and persistent, because we're sure, because we received the warning. So it'll do well if you take heed, if you adhere to this message. Go ahead,
Until it's like it says, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
Yeah, so we is that light shining in this dark place. Because everything that's taking place, nobody can tell you why it's taking place. They can't give you clarity on it.
Yeah.
Meaning they can't make you understand what's happening. That's that dark place.
Yeah, you've been enlightened. So like we have been enlightened. That's not a hard breakdown. You know how we know that? Because you were just, let's say you've been into 5 years. When you was 5 years removed from busting on a Christmas present. And we know how low level that is. So that means that was a light that had to shine in a dark place. You was in a state of darkness. You was in the dark. You didn't know who you are. Oh, like we asked the guy, who are you? Hey, I'm telling you that as a mother trying to get too deep.
Yeah.
Simple question like that confounds you, man.
Yeah.
And it's valid.
Yeah. What's your next?
Who are you? Fuck, you can't tell me who you are.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, because through the Spirit, we was at camp, which serves as the gate. That was the gates. The camps are the gates. When you walk up to the camp, we are watchmen. That's a valid question. Who are you? Then if you don't really know, we're gonna pull out the sign and say, nope, you just might be an Edomite. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Come. It says as until a light that shines in a dark place.
But again, can I say, we was in the dark. And like the Spirit had it so heavy, you know you was in the dark because you was in that position. And you see how far removed you are from, like I said, busting on Christmas presents or putting a lot of energy into Thanksgiving. Now all of a sudden you ain't going to a little boy all that time for over so many. Now you in the house with them 18 hours straight playing a game with them, man. But now you understand, what's at stake: rulership, dominion. First and foremost, salvation, being preserved from the said perils. But understanding the danger that's amongst us. Okay, that's a part of that light. That light shine. Here it is. You was in the dark, and it was danger all around you. Then you saw light. You understand how heavy that is? You see light. That light in itself shows you, there's a way out. Go ahead.
It says, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts.
Yep.
I got some real. This is Psalm 19 and 7. The Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
Come on, man.
The testimony of the Lord is sure.
Yeah, we was converted. Your life, you was converted. You made a transition. Right?
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
See, making wise the simple. We was all simple, man. You should cringe when you think back. You think back of your old past, and not to mention, not even in this lifetime. You don't know the extent of your folly, man. But Yahweh Shema Shana, act of mercy, allowed us understanding, man. See? That's why none of us can boast. We can only boast that we know the Lord. That means the Lord called us into his presence. He showeth himself unto such that tempt him not. Yeah, go ahead. Is it? Yeah, we go. So I'm on, go around.
It's Matthew 4:16.
What you got? Oh, come on, man. This man getting more and more. Hey, what's that nigga? Polite. I mean, you gotta watch you say certain niggas' names too. You get a strike. A nigga send you an email, nigga sue you, man. But he said, man, in Israel that 5 is spooky. But this thing is gonna get spooky. That's why Scripture speaks about the said perils. All right, because there was foretold. That contributes to the eerie of Noah. Noah told them about rain. Remember, it wasn't rain before. It's Scripture tell you how he introduced that. He brought forth the flood. So once that rain started coming down, it was a certain level of dramatics added to it. So yeah, this thing is gonna get spooky, man. Once the famine started to settle in, and the plagues began to occupy their lots, man, then it's gonna get interesting, man. All right, so come on.
Matthew 4:16. The people which sat in darkness saw great light.
Yeah.
And to them which sat in the region and shadow of death.
Yep, that's Babylon. We sit in the regions of the shadow of death. When you sit somewhere, that's similar to being acclimated. You was that's like the grave. You in it. But that light, it said great light. It was a great light that shined. Go ahead.
Which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up.
Yep, and that light has now sprung up. And again, that light, because you got to ask yourself, Imagine asking a Christian. This is a challenge. Imagine asking a Christian to explain away that light. Like a light sprung. You ask a Christian to break that down, man. Don't tell them what might help. What am I going to take, you know? They might start humming. What's humming an old Negro spiritual? That light, that light is dealing with this counsel, man. You are now being enlightened. And this is the only way you can please Yahweh Shema Shah. Our scriptures say without faith it's impossible to live. So that means, what is the faith? The faith is believing the report. All right, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something else. Matthew 11 and 15. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken?
Can you look up that word here? Let's just see what it says. While you doing that, you got it up.
It says.
You look up the word.
Okay, Isaiah 42:16. It says, "I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known."
Right, and we know those paths is dealing with these teachings. Okay, that's not physical, man. That's not carnal. All right. Those who sit in the shadow of death, it goes into a way of thinking. Oh, what's that? Romans the 12th chapter. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. So it starts with a thought. You know what proves that? Just a simple analogy. When the chariots, they say you never knew this truth, and the chariots pop up. Then you're not going to desire to go up on the chariots, man. You're going to run from them. That's why you have to be enlightened. And that's going to make you a heathen. Oh, remember the scriptures say, the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven. So you have to be brought back into the commonwealth. You have to be introduced to the fact that you're an Israelite. This is a part of your inheritance. Now you expect, you hope. That when you go to the word hope, it goes to expect. Now you expect the chariots to come and serve as, you know, the instruments of your salvation, the vehicle, if you will, to your salvation. Again, not going to just have some random guy going up in the chariot. No! And once he get in the chariot, your house shine, everybody's waiting. Calm down, calm down. Get the scripture. You're Israelite. Just calm down. You're an Israelite. We say, no, it ain't going to be like that. That's why we know you have to be enlightened first. And scripture speaks about your heart's desire, right? Your heart desire is levels to that. It ain't like you got your heart desire, it's just one desire that's reserved. Your heart desire going to be to get away from a mechanical dog one day. I mean, if that apply to you, the Lord going to grant you your. All right, come on. Oh, so like you, all right. And you keep fumbling with them scriptures. It's all set up. I see the scriptures. We're just gonna go there. Oh, you got. All right, come on. You got something? I keep fumbling. I see the thing. You come back. All right, come on.
This is Matthew 11.
And Lord will, we're gonna go into as you know, as much as the Spirit allows, we're going to current events. Because the scripture speaks about the gainsayers being convinced. There's going to be certain Israelites that are going to come across this information. They're going to become convinced. I got them niggas, Sakari and them, and that was classless, man. You have a guy say he's great millstone, and you have a full-fledged debate when they should know that we don't get out. We don't have debate. All of a sudden, just on a Thursday evening, you might have a great millstone decide to have a motherfucking debate, man. But I said it to say this, not to put the energy towards that. Them guys, they know it, because you remember in the elder Yashimoma brought that up. It was an excellent point how, you know, you had Sonetta. He came out and said, yeah, great millstone. That affected a lot of niggas and their egos. When he came out and said, great millstone, the guys. And all of a sudden, now they say, nope, not only are they not the guys, We're going to confound them. We're going to bring a guy who say he's in great millstone. That was off, man. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Matthew 11 and 15. He that have ears to hear, let him hear.
Mm-hmm.
Whereunto.
Now, let's look at that word here.
Yep.
Hey, but like I was saying, back to them guys, it's going to be a lot of people that hear about us through the slander, through incidents like that, and they're going to become convinced. They're going to come to our platform and they're going to hear. See? And that's why them guys, they tried to do that. That was a stunt pretty much, but the scripture said you could do nothing against the truth but for the truth. All right, so let's get that word here.
That word here, Strong's G 191. It says, to be endowed with the faculty of hearing, not deaf, to attend to, consider.
Yeah, to be attentive. All right, that's a part of it as well. To hear is not just you heard the truth before. Yeah, I heard about y'all Israelite boy. No, you got to be attentive to it. Go ahead.
It says, consider what is or what has been said.
Right, you consider what has been said. Proving that you have received a report, man. We don't know Wayne God just was somewhere and he got it. You know what I mean? Now, Spirit had it through order. And you shouldn't even think about those things too, just getting too deep. I mean, that's like, why are we talking about, like the brother said, concerning living forever. Like the question is, why are we even talking about this? But when you go into the order, the Lord set up Abba, and it all makes sense. And it all came down from that point when that seed was planted. Everybody had to be taught the word. That's why the scriptures say to believe what was said. It didn't say what was coming in a dream. You woke up with a breakdown. And go ahead. Now that can happen. That didn't happen. But it happened to whoever a lot. It ain't happening to you. All right? That's a generalized. It happened to whoever meant to happen to. Go ahead.
It says to understand.
Oh, what?
To understand.
To understand. So when the scriptures say here, right? That translates to understand. So read the verse one more time, huh?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 15. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Now
we understand that word here goes back to understand. So our Lord said this is an invitation for those who can understand, and it only makes sense. If I got a computer, you can't just go into it. You got to have a password. You can't just go, Or somebody might have a clubhouse or whatever. Oh, remember the apartments we went to? They had to have a code. The guy said, "What's the code?" Yeah, that's the same as too. And what's the code? What's the entry point? Your mind. No matter how dramatic the turban, the outward, there's nothing you can do to get into this. You have to understand. That's what Yahweh said, man. Hey, you got to get into it because Jake is impressionable. All it takes is a nigga with a staff. Now you follow the teachings of Khalid. You got something?
Like you said, entry point is your mind. This the book of First Samuel, chapter 16.
That's it.
Salaki. First Samuel 16, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
It reads, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth."
Right, so it's a way to perceive. There's levels of perception. Man perceives things through certain lenses. That's why a lot of our people, and I'm saying in a broad sense, I'm not just talking about in Israel right now. I'm talking about like Jake, nigga with a good working job. He's in a church. And a part of the lure was the building structure, the congregation. Nigga post, yeah, man, I go to Creflo Dollar Church. See, because they view things through the lenses of men, through the lenses of the flesh. Go ahead.
For men look up on the outward appearance.
See, men look up on the outward appearance. And you brothers, you done heard a person ask you where y'all study, where y'all teach at, where the school at. They got to see, you know, things in motion for them to tap into it.
It says, but the Lord looketh on the heart.
The Lord looketh upon the heart, man. The heart being your mind. And this is where truth is on display. Matter of fact, give me that in Psalms 51:6. Anybody got some? Come on.
I got a
All right,
little
we'll
bit
start
more.
around, go around. Yeah, a little more on
Yeah, a
that?
little bit more.
All right, come on, Slack.
Verse 16, it says, but whereunto shall I liken this generation?
Uh-huh.
It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows.
Right, and those children sitting in the markets are the prophets. Right?
And saying, we have piped unto you,
Mm-hmm.
and ye have not danced.
Right, yeah, we have given you the good news, and you're not rejoicing. Go ahead.
We have mourned unto you,
And on the flip side, we done told you destruction coming. Go ahead.
and ye have not lamented.
Yeah, you are not lamenting. We can't provoke no reaction from you some reason. No. But you know when it's gonna settle in? When the famine begin to make its way into the scene, man. That's gonna be that first step. I'm telling you, through the spirit, you can see that's how it's gonna. And when you read the scriptures as it relates to the perils, the famine is always in there. There's a heavy emphasis on famine. And now the Lord has endowed us with the spirit of understanding. We see where it all plays out in this time, and especially America, man. Everything's set up around eating. We always talk about how one motherfucker eat for everything. A graduation, we're gonna have to get some wings, you know. A funeral, everybody eat. You sad, you happy. All right, go ahead, out.
God, this is the book of Psalm 51.
Oh, Salaki. We gonna go around Salaki. Yeah.
Good. It's St. John 3 and verse 19. It says, and this is the condemnation
Mm-hmm.
that light is coming to the world.
Right, light has come into the world. And again, that light, hey, again, you ask a Christian to break that down. They're not going to make sense of that light. That light, again, translates to being enlightened, being briefed. Now you understand what's in front of you. Go ahead.
And men love darkness rather than light.
Right, because you're more comfortable with not knowing. Hey, knowing is a certain level of uncomfortable. There's an uncomfortable, spirit that comes with knowing. Because it's almost like that level of comfort. Like you play kids. You tell kids certain things, and it's an effort to shield them from the harsh realities of. Kids don't know about damn bills and shit. They just know about. Men love darkness. Darkness is more comfortable. Go ahead.
It says, and men love darkness rather than light.
Right. Yeah, they hate this truth. Because it first and foremost, it presents restrictions. You find out you can't, after all, have a damn lobster. You people bugged out. I never liked that shit though. Like that seafood shit. I never, as far as the crabs and lobsters, I never got into it. You got motherfuckers that get off on that, man. They get a pinky ring, a pastor, man. There's a fucking pastor somewhere. Yeah, it got butter and sour cream or whatever. And nigga finna do a sermon. Well,
because their deeds were evil.
Right, yeah, because this truth, again, it promotes restrictions and boundaries. So in that's when you're approving to see what you are. When you give somebody, you say, don't go past that line, then they come back, they pass that line. Now as the picture started to unfold, he's disobedient. Yeah, you got anything else over the way? Hey, come on.
It was John 1:4. In him was life,
Mm-hmm.
and the life, and the life was the light of men.
See, in him was life. And read it again.
John 1:4. In him was life,
Mm-hmm.
and the life was the light of men.
See the enlightenment of men. This is the light, man. Everything else is darkness, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially a nigga that went to college.
Oh.
You don't want to talk to them. They house Starbucks,
Yeah.
science, and video game, man.
Niggas diets. Them niggas diets.
Diets.
Crazy, man. You tell you nigga got a Taco Bell cup right there with a headpiece on debating you, man.
And let you know they ain't got no light in them.
Yeah.
There's no sense of direction with these people, man. Because every move they make is a step towards death. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what darkness represent. A challenge. If you you turn off all the lights going in the house, danger. It's dangerous now. You walk in your house and no lights on. You don't know who there. First of all, that's the extreme, but you could potentially bang your knee on the corner of the table. You can trip up. You can fall. With darkness comes danger. That's why the scriptures emphasize light, and usually that light is in the same breath with the path, because it's a way out of that. Yep, go ahead.
John 1:5, and the light shine up in darkness, and the darkness coming in and not.
And that's why you see that separation, you know, until we was being sanctified through the truth. So we on a whole different path than the rest of these people. They brought up the point. You say, I don't want no pork. And everybody look at you like you crazy.
Yeah.
But your grandma in the corner with 1 foot, you know, because she ain't got that light, man. You know, it's like you on that path, you see something, but that light guides you around and give you a heads up and let you know, don't, you know, make that left, you know, or jump over that rock, you know.
Got something to bag you up about that separation. St. John 3 and verse 21. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light.
They do truth, so that lets you know it's an action, man.
Yeah.
It ain't just a front. You got to actually live this. You know, you're gonna come to the light, man. You got it.
That his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High.
See, because ultimately, when you hear this word, it's gonna activate. The evidence of things not seen. Something that's in your spirit. It tells you created with faith in the womb, man. You know, and that's how it's been known who is of the Israel of the Most High, who's not, man. Once this word is on display, you know, just like a light, roaches scalp, you know, then we're the ones that's drawn to it, man. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, there was something.
Yeah,
I got something.
Got some more on that one.
2 Peter 3 verse 5, it says, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth stand out of the water, and in the water, whereby the word that then was being overflowed.
Oh, sorry, read it again. I'll read that part. Read that
2
again.
Peter 3 and 5, for this they willingly are ignorant of.
Yeah, they are willingly ignorant, man. You know this is the right information. And it says it's going back to the point. Your grandma's foot gone now because of her diet. But you just ordered a baconator after that. You are willingly ignorant, man.
They got a Fago in a cooler going to lunch. And like we're going to, man, Fago is a different type of, because the way they bottle, they might get a 27 ounce. Yeah, you have to pay a certain amount. You can't even bottle it no less. You know what I mean? That's it, goddamn. Yeah, straight up. That motherfucker that tall. You like, damn, this the motherfucker 3 liter. You get closer now. That motherfucker 28 ounce.
They don't never run out of them.
No. You gonna always get you one. Yep, go ahead.
It says, for this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old.
See, because back then they were doing the same thing, man. Because Noah, because he was telling them they were old, man. That's why I say he condemned the world. You know, it was a system back then. You know, but it still wasn't according to the standards of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. That's why they were willingly ignorant. Ain't no, they were pretty much doing the same thing. You had homos and they died was bad. All these things were happening back then as well, man. But they rejected it. You know? You got it, right?
It says, "In the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now being by the same word, are kept and stored."
See, because get what? This scenario about to play out once again in this profession is gonna happen by the way of fire this time, man. See, this time you ain't gonna forget who did it, man. You might not as well helm, but you ain't gonna never forget who did it in this lifetime, man. You know, y'all about small shots finna throw the kitchen sink at this place, man. You know, you got it up.
Yeah, it says, "Preserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men."
So this has been stirred up for this lifetime, right? This is where everything is about to be summed up. You know, you got to small that up. That was it on that. Gosh.
That's like, yeah, you continue. And we ain't got nothing. Let's shift over into. All right, you got something? Oh, Slacky, you got something? Okay, Slacky. Go ahead.
Nah, I ain't got enough. I thought you just said.
Oh no. We're gonna shift now into, let's go into the prophecy. Let's get yeah, we started back with because I want to move around.
This is from RT. From World News. It says, "Unjabbed will have a miserable and very lonely life."
That sounds like a threat, man. Hey, why the fuck? Why he sounds so desperate, man? The only way you can make sense of that is through the doctrine that we bring, by way of the Spirit. Because you really can't make no sense of that, and unless you're viewing it through these lenses. Why is this man threatening you concerned? Read that again, huh?
It says, "Unjabbed will have a miserable and very lonely life." Australian Doc warns.
And now I'm gonna say this in the spirit that unmaxed, we know is being spoken. It's being generally spoken right now, globally. Anybody who falls under that umbrella. But really, again, when you view things through the spiritual lenses, through the prophetic sayings of the scriptures, what you find out is that term unmaxed is pretty much a buzzword for Israel, man. How do we know that? Because that's who's been thrust into the public's eye as the resistors. What you think that whole Kyrie Irving thing was about? But the Lord being a God of war, the scripture says he set two and two is set up. The Lord brought that Aaron Rodgers element into it, man. It was only to condemn Esau. But at the forefront, the face of Esau's target is Jake. Guess him?
This Psalm 94, let me start at verse 20. It says, "Shall the thorn of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?" They gathered.
Read that again.
It says, "Shall the thorn of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief?"
The thorn of iniquity, who is that? That's so-called white man. Because his power really condemns them too. So you got to put everything in perspective, man. When you go into prophecy highlights who will be in power, preceding the return of our Lord Yahushua. It will be Esau. So he's on the throne. He's that resistor right now. The story of Pharaoh and whatever kingdoms and empires that was set up, the Lord overthrew, that's over with. Now, when we talk about prophecy, right? It has to be talking about a certain system. It can only be talking about the so-called white man's influence. Read that again, huh?
It says, "Shall the thorn of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?"
Right, yeah. So these devils through their legislations promote their mischief. That's why you're going to see more and more draconian measures presented. You're not going to be able to come and go as you please. It's not going to just be random, like on the fly, somebody tell you, nah, you can't come in. No, it's going to be based upon laws and legislation. That goes back to Esau, man. Go ahead.
It says,
oh, you know what else that goes into? That goes into Genesis the 27th chapter where Esau wept bitterly. Right now, all these draconian laws going forth, that's this man weeping bitterly. That's the spiritual overtone of that. You know, expressing that, you know, expressing his pretty much his rebellion. Go ahead.
It says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
Yeah, these devils coming together in these meetings. We're in war. We're in the time of war. Or what's that? Ecclesiastes 3rd chapter, a time for war. So-called white man is strategizing. Okay? Go ahead.
And condemn the innocent blood.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, condemning the innocent blood. And as a whole, that's why you see the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American being the most vulnerable in this situation. And Jake don't even get it. They just shoot music videos and all kind of crazy shit. Meanwhile, the stage is being set for Esau to come down with great rap. But that's fine. You got to be in it for yourself. You got to understand. See? All right, so come on.
I got a precept.
Mm-hmm. Then we're going to get back and we're going to get back.
Psalm 52:2. Thy tongue deviseth mischief.
Yeah.
Like a sharp razor working the
you got to catch that. Read it one more time.
Thy tongue deviseth mischief.
That tongue represents the legislations and laws, which it just complements what the brother just read. It devises mischief. You think Esau set up laws to push forth righteousness? No. There's a mischievous thought behind it. This nigga shaking your hand, one hand behind his back with a fucking sword. Yeah, go ahead, huh?
Like a sharp razor.
See, so their tongue is like a sharp razor, meaning the laws and legislations will eventually spill over to war. See, hey, that martial law idea, that really goes back to the so-called white man's legislations. And that's why the laws that's on the books is all an effort to drive war. For example, we was just talking about the Patriot Act. They got surveillance laws under it. That's why you're gonna have more and more drones. Well, it's already out here. Fucking devil got a fly, like a mechanical fly in your shit. Yep, go ahead.
He says, like a sharp razor working deceitfully.
Working deceitfully, just like a fly. Why you won't just tell me you want to know what's going on in here? You bring a fly. That's how he get out. They got these replica of deers and shit, like mechanical deers. They'll send them out there in the wild. They'll give out deer calls. You ever saw that? Yeah, they got a motherfucker come up like a fucking hyena. Is a fucking mechanical. That's that working deceitfully, man. Motherfuckers, you deceive. The only way you can either get up under the animals or something, it had to be through deception. All right, so that was it on that. All right, so come on.
Yeah, going back, it says the head of the Australian Medical Association has issued a dark warning to those who refuse a jab, saying they not only face.
And you gotta know too, right? He be having other shit. All this is under the B system. But he'll put it out there like, see what they doing? You know, it's a reality. That's why it's in the media and shit, you know. Now you gotta ask yourself, I thought the so-called white man was for justice, the American. And that's how they played you too. It's different white people. All of them at that bet, the American Edomite is the, you know. Well, why they ain't go over there and invade Australia for that? Remember, they'll invade Iraq or some shit. They'll say it's because the way he do his people. Hey, that's how they do, right? They'll create a boogeyman and say he committed genocide. Yeah. He's a tyrant. Yeah. Why ain't going to Australia? And telling them, nah, that's a little too severe, man. Because they want to do it. Well, and they're going to do it.
Yeah, it says saying they not only face fines and fraud charges, but will be separated from the rest of society.
Yeah, and that goes into being off the grid. If you don't have that 16 digit, the one day you go to, order something, and all they'll go through, and the last one more screen pop up. Please provide your 16 digit COVID acceptance number, please. Now you off the grid. But you see where E is pretty much pushing this opportunity. That's Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, I believe, when he find opportunity. Mm-hmm. So you can see that this is his last hurrah damn near. Now we know it's going to eventually spill into that thing, but this is like to test the water. See how the people react. See how much resistance we get. Okay, we didn't tag this many people. Take them to the concentration camps. All right, go ahead. See, prophecy prevails, baby. Out of all that, what I said, it goes right back to biblical prophecy. And we'll come to mind, Jeremiah, the 15th chapter. Those to the captivity. Mm-hmm. All right, come on.
Yeah, it goes on to say, it says, life
swore to take them all the way. That's Ezekiel, man. Yeah. The sword takes them all, it'll take them all the way, baby. Yeah, go ahead.
It says life will be miserable without being jabbed up. You won't be able to hide Dr. Chris Pierce.
Yeah, because it's something about the phone. The first road to recovery. You got niggas like you ready to, rough it out. Is that the word they say? Rough it. You got to get rid of the phone first, baby. Cause This is why they're gonna get you. Can't get away with that. Now they trying to get the thing in you. And some of them things gonna, I'm just me, I believe they might have it where they can release, cyanide. They can shut you down. All of a sudden, you just geared to get up, go to work, and go home, go to sleep. Them devils will tell you they want robots flipping burgers. All that information out there, man. And they want the new world order to be safe. That's like a paranoid criminal. We won't trust nobody. We have a number of robots. And then we can live, Yeah, the Twilight Zone, yeah. All the robots, yeah. It was fucking with him. He was going crazy. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, to cap it off, it says there's a whole pile of issues, a whole pile of problems if you try to get around the system. That's pretty much it on it. Yeah,
well, them just threatening you now. But again, like the point I made in the spirit, these devils, they always made it seem like they the voice of reasoning. We got to go over here to Iraq. There's a tyrant, and they'll show the pictures of people getting killed. But they ain't say nothing about these motherfuckers in Australia saying you can't even, eat, motherfucker, if you don't. Again, that's because the stage is being set for these things to take place here in America, man. And you Americans, especially when you get a chance to be around them, you can see they're ready for the taking. Like they got this docile look, like they gamers, or they just going out lollygagging through America, Babylon the Great. So imagine when that comes over here, man. Now you're gonna have a hard resistance from a lot of these Edomite militia groups, like your boy. He got off on. He was talking about he was help guarding the border. Did he? Yeah. Hard. But besides motherfuckers like that, the average American gonna just fall apart when their luxuries are taken from them. And that's going to contribute to the, the drama as well, that panic that's going to set in. And tell you, we're about to move into a heavy, or like I was saying earlier, we're about to go into the phase of miracles. See, it's going to be at a point where only miracles is going to get you through. So you're going to see that this Yahweh Shai story. Your money saved,
emergency rations.
Yeah, emergency rations, your cabinet pantry full of noodles.
Right.
the doomsday kit. None of that's gonna matter. Nothing is gonna matter. It's gonna require divine intervention. It's gonna have to be the spirit, the miracles of Yahweh Shah to get you through, man. It was really bringing this thing full circle. The lack of belief from people.
Right.
Are they just not willing to believe the report?
Making all these preparations, looking ahead, going through this step. If this happened, all these scenarios, you know, you got 7 scenarios for one thesis. Man, that's
At the end of the day, you have a stroke.
You see what I'm saying?
You can't even lift your hand up and get the gun.
I'm talking about full of weapons, full of ammo, full of rations.
Yeah, that's how you. How about you? I see what I'm saying, man. Something that's subtle. How much I show you here in control.
Still led from
Motherfuckers don't believe on no levels. Like the guy who came into the camp with that. And again, the only thing that jump out is that countenance like he never come no hell.
Yeah.
You know, his mother had that smirk, that permanent smirk on their face. And it's like he was a gamer. I was like, man, this dude here he don't fear nothing yet. But bringing him up again, he said, what? Y'all the black people, the Israelites? Like, motherfucker, what you mean? Why white people could? Why are so surprised at that? But that just goes into them. Yeah, they don't believe.
There's no light in them.
Yeah, there's no light. Yeah. Your action's gonna show. You're gonna goddamn think you could give 10 bundles of roll of tissue. Right. Now we're not telling you off if a brother somehow came across something you want to give him the extra tissue, cool.
Right. But just don't depend on what to save.
You don't want to get too bad. Yeah. You got a 2-bedroom pound. You walking in trying to get by, you got tissue all over the place. But you know, in the spirit, man, the Lord is already laid out. And see, if you believe the report, then it's going to cause you to, set things in motion. Oh, again, you can't sidestep. Noah believed the report so much so to where he embarked on building the ark. All right, so come on,
This is from Reuters.com. Austria brings back C-19 lockdown, this time for the unvaccinated.
Oh, see? This time there's a certain people that's in their sex, the unvaccinated. And again, the spirit, the unvaccinated are going to narrow down to Israel, man. Mm-hmm. That's why everything's, they saying like the less fortunate neighborhoods, they need to be convinced to most resist. When really you can see it's really a bunch of bullshit, man. It's that's the scriptures again coming to life. The accuser of thy brother. Because when you take a step back, just go out there, you'll see the ones that's complaining is really Jake. It's Jake with mask on, man.
Yeah, where you go?
Esau ain't got the fucking mask on, man. Jake got the mask uphill, man.
Real talk.
So we know that even gives more credence to the fact that Esau we're in the phase where Esau is going to act out that lust of blood that he had for Jake. What's that, Ezekiel? The 35 or 36, yeah. Since thou has not hated blood,
blood shall pursue thee.
What blood? The blood of Israel. All right, come on.
It says Austria is the first European country.
Oh, European. Even though we know that at face value that ties to who? The so-called white man. Go ahead.
To reinstate the same restrictions on daily movements that applied during national lockdowns before the Vanessas were rolled out. Though this time they only affect a minority of the population.
Yeah, they only affect a minority of the population. Come on, man. Let's talk about Israel. And see, it's a bigger picture than that. Not just in Israel, because somebody in Australia. Somebody said, yep. It says in the Negroes in Australia. No, that's just the story, and it's being framed by Australia, that title. But this is going to apply, globally, man. As far as what the so-called white man's influence extends, and we know pursuant to Job, the 9th chapter and 24 verse, is throughout the planet Earth. So that minority going to spill over to America. That's who's going to feel the brunt of this. And you know what prove that? Give me real quick Revelation, the 18th chapter. And I think around the 6th verse, so much he glorified.
God.
Get that real quick. Because you think America's going to be in the spotlight, you know, for all the wrong reasons. I mean, you know, and then when this jump off, it's going to be Australia. No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, see what I'm saying? All of a sudden, America got all this light, all this attention and shine. But when the plague settle in, it's going to fall on Australia. No, man. All these other people going to feel it. But you're going to see in this perfection, the plague's going to rest in America. Go ahead, huh?
Revelation 18, verse 7. How much she had glorified herself.
Who is that? That's talking about America, right? How much she had glorified herself. You know, she was the lady of kingdoms. Everybody wanted to come, you know what I mean? So as much as she glorified herself, go ahead.
And lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her.
So the flip side, she got to be just as renowned for torment and sorrow. See, that's the balance of the Lord. So you think all of a sudden when it's time for hell to break loose, America's just going to be in the shadows? No. The full brunt of the drama of Yahweh Shema Shai is coming to America, Babylon the Great. So, yeah, we read what's happening in Australia, but don't think you safe. All right, come on. That was it?
This article from News4Jax. It says feds push back in vaccination court fight against Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah, it's like, read that again. That's
It says feds push back in vaccination court fight with Florida, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah, so now that's that resistance. Now I knew the guy, I can't remember his name, I always butcher his name, the governor down there in Florida, DeSantos or some crazy shit. He came right out like, look, man, I ain't with that. He was even trying to create a refuge for other certain, cops or whoever might have a government official, you know, whatever. And he like, look, man, come down here, man, I'll pay you. Now they're saying Georgia, Florida, and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they starting to get that resistance. And Spirit got on to speak on that yesterday too, briefly, about the Civil War. Those spirits, those Civil War spirits, they back, man. And they ain't got to necessarily just be in certain military uniform. Just be a motherfucker, man, live out in Wyoming. You know, Cracker just got this zeal to fight for America, patriotic American, man, red-blooded. But as it were, this is going to be a part of the dramatics as well. Esau is going to bump heads. Matter of fact, get that in Isaiah. Let's read that one more time.
It says, feds push back in vaccination court fight with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
See that? So there's a fight now amongst Esau. See, all these things tell us where we at in the process. We mentioned that earlier. What's that, 2 Ezra 9? When thou seest these things happen, man, or these things come to pass. All right, come on.
It's the book of Isaiah 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Right.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother.
Yeah, read the article one more time.
Come on. It says feds push, it's like it.
Mm-hmm.
Feds push back in vaccination court fight with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Yeah. Okay.
It said, and they shall fight everyone against his brother.
Right, so yeah, that's biblical prophecy, man. And again, prove that this is the most powerful, this is a living document, this is the most powerful book on the planet Earth, where we can filter current events directly through the prophets. And the prophecies, which, by the way, Isaiah, this is a prophet. We read from the book of Isaiah, and it pretty much complements what's taking place. Where the Lord set Esau against each other. Hey, that's a strategy too. I believe it's actually in the list of strategies in the Wikipedia where it goes into blockade and siege, where you actually can turn your enemies against each other. Go ahead.
It says, and they should fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor.
Oh, well, you know what proved that also? This is how the Lord got Israel. This contributed to us not being able to come out of this evil eye. That's why the Lord said you have an evil eye towards your brother. So that is what also, cemented our fall. So the curse is falling on Esau now. The Lord is turning these devils against each other. All right, so that was it.
Finish it off. It says city against city and kingdom against kingdom.
That's it. City against city, kingdom against, and that's heavy levels because, ultimately the kingdom against kingdom is going to be perfected with World War III, the conglomerates of nations. But also the kingdom of kingdom, is like levels. The FBI against this, that's a kingdom, that's a realm. And that's like the FBI going up against this city, that state, that on that level, that's actual resistance, war. All right, so come on, is more on that?
Just a little bit. Just one real quick point is the task force they got out. It's called OSHA. It says
I heard of that now. Is that like the OSHA I know about? What you said?
OSHA. Yeah, like Jose. They always say like it's gonna save people. That's what he's saying. Like this to save you.
Oh, Jose.
Yeah, it's OSHA. There you go, like OSHA.
Well, I know they got the safety place. OSHA. Is that it?
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what he's saying is pushing it out. Push forth that January 4th. Then
OSHA pushing that?
Yeah, they say that's what pushing. It says OSHA probably determined that employees in one place and interact, thus risking workplace transmission of a highly contagious virus that spreads. So that's the guys who pushing. They say they're trying to save thousands of lives. But that was the point of the article though.
Yeah, fuck it, man.
Nobody to play with.
They strict too.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that goes into ease. Because it's always level. Remember the guy? I don't know if I keep bringing this nigga up, man. But he even brought up, like, who's going to be the king? We try to explain to him as levels. You're going to have different seats, different government. But that's how these devils, they got certain seats. It breaks down the governors of states and mayors and city councilmen. Then you also have on the other side, it's brackets. You have motherfuckers like OSHA. That's a part of it,
Yeah.
That was it on that?
Yeah,
all right. Cool.
God, this is from RT News, and it reads, food banks struggle to feed hungry Americans.
Hold up. Here, starting with the apostles and elders, we constantly push forth the prophecies. And in doing so, you're gonna speak about the famine. So why? Here, when did this come out?
I think it came out today.
Even if it came out 2 months ago, it's still,
irrelevant.
It's here in this year. It's relevant. Hey, because remember when BG went up and then bought all them farms, that would have me slaughtered. That was BG call, man. They said, what you gonna do with the animals? Just kill them. But that happened a while back. That's still relevant. That's just like the dream of the statue of Daniel. That dream's still going on, man. All right, come on.
God, it reads, food banks across the U.S. are struggling to keep up with the number of Americans in need of assistance.
People messed up out here. They're in need of assistance. But they're not going to put that on the media, which somehow fuels and drives your people's and your attention. See, unless you hear the news say people fucked up, you just in your own little world. You got some chicken, and jumped in the car and went back to the house. You ain't even paying attention to what's going on out there. These people are hurting out here, man.
Right.
Now, they do have more money than they ever had, the ones who was available. Because everybody really wasn't available for a lot of the benefits. But for those of who was available, they got a little bread in. But that doesn't explain away all the people that didn't have those perks. Even now, they're cutting off a lot of those benefits. But why are they talking about this? Why are they talking about food banks? You know why? Because it falls under the banner of prophecy. Matter of fact, go real quick to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, and start at, I want to say the 18th verse, I believe. 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. You got more on this, right?
Oh, just a little bit.
Okay. We're going to read this and we'll go back. Okay. Come on.
Because it's the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 18, the beginning of sorrows.
Right. So that's the time we're in. We're in the beginning phase of sorrows. Right?
In great mourning.
And great mourning. See, that's going to be the Lord pretty much smiting this place, America, with that blow of humility. Because you got to remember, America is known for their mirth and their rejoicing, man. So now the Lord is going to balance it off by great mourning. Go ahead.
The beginning of famine.
Oh, see? The beginning of famine. Go ahead.
And great death.
So you see what famine, chronologically, is right before great death. Go ahead.
The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Yep, and those evils translate to the bad times, the ill times. But you notice right there, famine is in the equation, and it makes sense when you relate it to who? America. See, you got to be able to. You got to time travel in the spirit. You can't really think you're in this truth and you just limit everything builds around what America showed you, man. Then it's going to cloud your judgment. When you go into the other kingdoms and empires, they didn't. If food wasn't just which when you go back to the ancient Roman Empire and the Greeks, they had fast food. There's even film evidence of like fast food setups, man. That show that all that was under Esau watch. But these different nations, you had even in the ancient world, you didn't just have food sitting up. You had to prepare, your meal, man. And it took time. So I said that to say this. The Lord has fattened America for the slaughter. That's why you have so much food at your disposal. You at your fingertips, just get food. That's why famine is in it. That's why we know the scriptures is heaven, man. All right, come on. That was it on that?
A little more.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, famine.
Famine again. It emphasized famine again. Behold, famine. Go ahead.
In plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute.
Yep. And a scourge is like a blow. Whenever you get a scourge, it's like another whip. Mm-hmm. So one of the scourges that the Lord is going to, afflict America with is the famine, man. All right, so that was it on that? All right, come on.
God, it reads, thing in the article, food banks across the U.S. are struggling to keep up with the number of Americans in need of assistance amid record inflation and the supply chain crisis.
Yeah, amid record inflation. That was the lady on the video, the fat lady. She was the prelude of the video I did maybe a week ago. She said, "It's this damn inflation. I gotta close my restaurant." You know what it is? That's the how about Shemal Shah beginning to invade America, man. That's in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. Where the Lord said, scripture tell how the Lord would invade them with his troops. See? Go ahead, up.
God, it says, I'm jumping down. It says the food bank was forced to make a lot of really tough choices.
Yeah, when the time of decisions gonna have to be made.
It says, due to inflation and the rising cost of food.
Oh, it's not gonna be Thanksgiving and all that either. The girl, she said that too. She said, "I'm not having Thanksgiving, Christmas, none of that shit. She was venting, man, because she had to shut her business down. Man, the turkey, you can probably look it up and see how much a turkey would be. Somebody want to look it up. Because the price is going up on everything. Oh, the lady said she paid, they want $100 for a roast or some crazy shit. The gas going up. And see, these things going to happen suddenly. Give me a real quick, he said suddenly.
That's secure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if y'all don't get it, you ain't got to worry about the turkey. Cause motherfucker sell you a fat cat this time of year too. Yeah. And a motherfucker wrapped up like a turkey for you. That motherfucker will be for $8.99.
Damn.
Oh, what you got over here?
So one on $100, one on $400.
Yeah, one turkey $400. Real talk. This $339, one of them $109. Then you go over, they get cheaper. That's them things. Yeah. $139. Yeah, and then the Lord is taking away the luster from America. You know, that spirit of mirth. Motherfuckers don't even think about Christmas. It's all phony. You've been motherfuckers beefing and shit out there in the house playing the game together. All right, good.
Ecclesiastes, Sirach 5:7. Make no tarriance to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security.
And that's how the Lord gonna visit America. The plague is gonna come suddenly. Hey, like we were saying, this could be any night now. You shut the video down tomorrow, you wake up, your phone locked out, and only way you can get in 16-digit COVID accepted, you know? Or you can look up all the goddamn traffic lights out on your way home from your overnight shift. You get to the house, the power out. Right?
It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Yep, in the day of vengeance. You know, that day is the appointed day for your particular judgment. So once that day, the anger of the Lord flare up, and it comes suddenly, man. And if you're not hedged with that protection, you're not covered with that mark of exemption, the tawaf, all right, the blood of Yahushua, then you're going to get caught up in it. And you know what? We in that season, man. See, it's so close again. Tonight, the night can take you right into the prophecy, you know, right into, the night can take you right into, you jump off of your car, and it takes you right off into 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, cool.
I got one more.
Hey, matter of fact, let's prove it. Go to Ezekiel, the 7th chapter. I quoted it once. The prophet's waiting on you to get there. It's already established. But see, now we see it. We can see the Lord setting the stage for it to play out the way it was meant to play out. Come on out.
God, this is the book of Ezekiel 7, verse 5. It said, thus said the Lord, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come.
See, the end is come, right?
The end is come. It watcheth for thee.
So the end waiting on you. The end watching for you. Go ahead.
Behold, it is come.
Right, so we're in that time. So there's nothing you can do. Okay, it's in front of you. And as we, proceed closer and closer to the time of our Lord and His return, you're going to be taken right into the prophecies. All of us, when you jump in your car, you're headed into the prophecies unfolding. That's what, come on.
All right, come on. This is also from RT, and it reads, Apple quietly files patent for a new
I said, why quietly? Right?
for a new unmanned drone. And it reads, Apple has filed multiple patents.
Unmanned drone, we were just speaking about that too. The Patriot Act and these different laws under the surveillance acts. That damn BG with a drone. Well,
It says Apple has
following you around. Motherfucker can tag you by your channel, your avatar, you know what I mean? Click on that motherfucker and then now he got access, he can lock into you now. Go ahead.
It says Apple has filed multiple patents which describe a method of connecting small unmanned aerial vehicles to various wireless controllers. It says it has seemingly tried to keep its research project a secret.
Why? You creating drones with joysticks. That's some dangerous shit, man. Hey, but that goes into that sword. That goes into the weapon, that Koyan.
Mm-hmm.
That weapon has advanced. It's being polished up. It's being sharpened. And that's another. That's going to play another critical role in the scene of drama that's on the horizon. Drones and shit. It show you that in that what's that Purge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where they had the drone after the guy. So yeah, that and them drones varies too now. It ain't just gotta be, and we know Esau the eagle, the aerial, it's gonna be more always the aerial. But and the robot dog is a form of a drone. Yeah. That's a form of a drone. That could be, it's unmanned, is a weapon. Well, you have a motherfucker sitting back, man, motherfucker in Britain. Those damn nerds got them at you, man. But again, these teachings are strange. The Spirit had us touch on that. This could be strange if you're not in the right spirit. What you doing with Bibles over and talking about mechanical dogs and drones? Well, all this is going to contribute to that time of trouble that hasn't been seen. Matter of fact, we get ready to close on it. Go to Daniel, the 12th chapter. Let's get that real quick. If anybody got something, we'll bring it up. Yeah, we'll end off right here.
Daniel 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time,
See, that prophecy. Go ahead.
shall Michael stand up, the great prince, with standard for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble.
Right, there's going to be a time of trouble. Go ahead.
Such as never was since there was a nation.
Yeah, it's going to be a time of trouble you can't rival with any other time in history since there was a nation. Go ahead.
Even to that same time,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time,
See?
thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Yeah, that's dealing with the elect. It's going to get so bad to where only a remnant is going to be saved. And they're going to be saved based upon predestination. But the point again is what is concerning the time that have never been seen. That's where you're going to get your drones. That's where you're going to get your mechanical dogs. All right. They got certain technology where they could tell it's like a green light or some shit. A light where they could tell if you've been maxed. Did y'all hear about that? Yeah. You walk into, your shit glow. You ain't been maxed. And it's a mechanical dog that might come out to confront you. So, and you might be on the red list. It might be like, oh, no, that's an automatic kill. Motherfucker, 2 mechanical dogs come at you. But, again, that's the time we're about to go into. We're about to go into a time that's rivaled at a time that can't be rivaled or compared with any other time, man. That's heavy in itself. See? But we see that as a possibility, just by being briefed, the Lord giving us, proper understanding to filter things, merge certain things, go into articles and say, oh, you know what? Damn, this makes sense. I can see where these things that's taking place around me will contribute or could potentially contribute or add to what we read as it relates to biblical prophecy. All right. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our teachers, the head apostles, and elders, the great millstone. Shalom to the fellow laborers, and always you believe. Until the next time, Shalom.
Shalom, DTA, Abba,
Soon. Very soon.
Tonight.
Like right now. Right now.
Well, hold on.